Let's get into the issues of the day with our panel. Susie O'Brien from the Herald Sun joins us from Melbourne, and Stephen Senetiempo, Radio 2CC breakfast host, joins us from the nation capital. Good to talk to you guys. We've talked a lot in the past about youth crime and a lot of the problems around the country, and there's been increasing amounts of knife crime. And we've talked too about how in Queensland they have Jack's Law, where the police have been given more powers to search people for knives and get them off the streets. Well, a campaign to do something similar in New South Wales seems to have paid off, because here's the New South Wales Premier, Chris Minns, today saying his state will go down the same path.
These are major changes, and I don't think that they should just be dismissed. We did take our time with them, but I'm convinced that they're the appropriate changes in New South Wales to keep the public safe and to change a culture that is increasingly seeing young people leave their homes with a weapon.
Yeah, it makes sense, Susie, surely. This doesn't give police carte blanche, but in certain areas, or if there's been an incident, they can wave a wand around anyone they like. It's not invasive, just to check whether people have got knives or not.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a horrifying situation because knives are in every single house, and at any point we've got more and more teenagers leaving the house, as Chris Minns is saying, with a weapon concealed somewhere on their person. And so in New South Wales, police are now going to be able to wand or scan if they have a reasonable suspicion that someone is carrying a weapon. And apparently they're going to be looking at this in New South Wales as in Victoria soon. So let's hope that comes soon.
Yeah, I would have thought, Stephen, it's the sort of thing where the other states will look to follow. New South Wales following Queensland. I could see all the states falling in at some stage, so making the laws as uniform as possible.
You would hope so, because look, the only people who are going to jump up and down about this are the snivel libertarians. And look, police are too busy to just go around harassing people and scanning them willy-nilly. I mean, they're only going to do it if they've got some sort of cause to do so. Look, I think it's a no-brainer, given particularly the events we've seen in recent times, and with kids as young as 14 and 15. I mean, it's a frightening situation we find ourselves in now. So every tool the police can have to try and combat knife crime, all the better. Stephen,
did you call them the snivel libertarians?
Yes, I did, yeah.
That is a beautiful term. I've learnt something today. Snivel libertarians. Well done. Are you claiming that one? Are you coined that one yourself?
I think a very famous radio announcer from way back might have come up with it.
Is that right? Snivel libertarians. Yeah. Well, let's leave the snivellers behind, Susie. You did something that I used to do way too often, and you went to a state budget lockup today and went through the horrors of the Victorian budget. Look, there's going to be goodies there. They always want to be popular. But isn't it a worry that all governments of all persuasions, state and federal, Labor and Liberal of late, have just been handing out too many goodies and cranking up the debt and just leaving it for others to sort out in the future?
Oh, Victoria is absolutely the worst when it comes to this particular issue. We've already got the lowest credit ranking of any state or territory, and yet they don't stop spending money. We're spending something like $25 million a day just addressing debt, and they're doing nothing to turn that around. And so one of the things that came out of today's state budget, and yes, I was in the lockup, locked in there with the Treasurer and the Premier as well, is a $400 handout for all government school students to address some of the costs of uniforms and extracurricular activities. Now, kids from our independent schools are saying, what about us?
Absolutely.
You're discriminating against us.
They pay taxes and school fees.
Well, that's true. They certainly do, and there's a lot of kids from quite low-income families that go to independent schools.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, you have to say, maybe families need this help, but can the government, can the state afford it? The answer, no doubt, is no.
Yeah, no, exactly. They're singing my song there. The answer, Stephen, always in these things is to cut back on government handouts and get taxes down and allow people to make wise decisions with their own money.
Yeah, but Chris, when you're broke and you might as well, and it's somebody else's money, why not go out with a bang and splash the cash around? Look, it's getting to the point now where governments don't seem to understand the basic economics that if inflation is a problem, you don't create more inflation. And that seems to be what all of our governments right across the country seem to want to do, is splash cash around and say, we are going to address the crisis of living, which is driven by inflation, by creating more inflation. Please.
Yeah.